let's take a look at the anatomy of a human neck. There are 7 bones that make up what we call your cervical vertebrae. The first one is called your atlas. The next one is called your axis, and then there are 5 underneath them that, let's see, stack on top of each other like that. A couple important things to notice. Number one, there's a curve, a little bit of a curve to our cervical vertebrae. In a world where we do most things in front of us nowadays and we're not looking up at the sky or out over the horizon on a daily basis, multiple times a day, people's curves can change because our body responds to the demand that we put on it. So, those are the vertebrae themselves. If we zoom in and we look, I'm going to add in your nervous system. Because this is really where it all begins. Okay, we have your brain. I removed one of the bones in the back of our head. And then you have your spinal cord. Your spinal cord runs in between all of those vertebrae in your neck. Okay? And out of these little tiny holes in between each vertebrae come these little tiny nerves. Okay? And you might imagine that if the holes in between the vertebrae are squished for any number of reasons, the signal that gets pushed out through the nerve gets affected. Okay? So if there's stenosis, right, if we look at this nerve, there's stenosis, which is just narrowing of that hole. It can affect the way that the nerve conducts basically the electricity of your body's system. So we'll take those out of there. We'll go back to just the anatomy through here. And let's add in our bone, or our muscles, excuse me. Okay. So this is just the first layer. It's going to get real crowded in here real quick. Okay. But if you think about from an evolutionary standpoint, the fine motor movements that our neck has to do, again, to control the way our head is, this is all not an accident. This is all very, very much by design that we have all of these tiny little muscles and then big muscles on top of them. So here we go. Oh my goodness. And then there's this big trapezius. Now, if you grabbed your shoulder and you kind of squeezed it, that would be the muscle that you'd be touching right underneath the skin there. If we took that away, you're going to see there's a lot of other muscles that connect our neck to the upper part of our spine, to our shoulder blade over here. Okay. It's a lot. Necks are complicated because they're so involved in our daily lives. And so it's a little bit important to know what all of these muscles do and where they connect to. It's really more important to understand, like, oh my gosh, there are so many and so much tissue involvement here that that really play a big role in how somebody might be feeling. So I always just like to show this to people because it helps get a little bit of buy-in from patients to say, oh my gosh, there's a lot. There's a lot of structures. And thank goodness there are. But usually this stuff takes a while and it's always multifaceted as to what's going on in their diagnosis. Now I wonder if this will show me discs in between the vertebrae. Let's see if I can get rid of this one. And I'm not sure if it'll show me the disc in here. Let's see. No, it's not going to show me the disc. But in between every vertebrae, you have a disc that basically serves as a shock absorber for the impact that goes on in our neck when we walk, when we run, and when we climb and hang and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of structures that are involved in a neck, and we often don't appreciate the anatomy of it. So there you go. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for your time and your attention. Appreciate you. Keep moving and keep getting better every day.